What weird member of the animal kingdom did Jude Law use to play the role of a robot prostitute? Keep watching to find out which strange animal Law studied for his role in AI. Simply put, Jude Law is a character actor stuck in a leading man's body. He broke out in the late 1990s with performances in films like Gattaca and The Talented Mr. Ripley, with the latter earning him one of his 2 Oscar nominations. 2 things were made incredibly clear by his appearances in these films. He was very talented, and he was also one of the most glistening, beautiful people in the world. Naturally, he started becoming a leading man, and while Hollywood was convinced of this trajectory, he never ended up wearing that moniker all too well. What the filmmakers behind Alfie or Enemy at the Gates neglected to pick up on is that Jude Law was in fact a weirdo character actor who just happened to be beautiful. And to Law's credit, he never stopped taking those choice supporting parts where he could maximize his impact as an actor. Where Law really shined was in finding those roles where his attractiveness became part of the character's oddity. No film weaponized this blend better in his initial burst of stardom than in Steven Spielberg's tremendous 2001 film, AI, Artificial Intelligence.
I think you're afraid of letting go. I think you're afraid of happiness.
In the film, Jude Law plays the role of Gigolo Joe, a prostitute android on the run after being framed for murder. What makes the character unique is his lightness. Though the film takes place in the future, Steven Spielberg conceived the character to be one of those old gigolos from the 1930s, with tuxedo and tails. Joe uses elegance and grace to be seductive, rather than anything outwardly raw. However, there is the added wrinkle that this is also a mechanical man, so all of his behavior is programmed and not inherent to him. Every gesture, every movement, every pose is just a little more exaggerated and forced than it should be. Gigolo Joe is a rather bizarre character that, if handled wrongly, could be disastrous. In preparation for the role, Law took to many different inspirations in crafting his physical behavior. As he told Cinema.com, he's a robot who is supposed to be really good at his job. So, in terms of giving Joe an organic energy that mixed with his mechanical side, I studied mime, some dance, and even peacock movements. As a robot who is programmed to display various kinds of seductive behavior, I had to be skillful in the art of attraction and multiple transformations and physical movements to go along with that. So the intent was that I be a mixture of many things, and a combination of organic and plastic, and also romantic and futuristic. For months prior to shooting, he also worked with veteran British choreographer Francesca Janes to incorporate these influences. Together, they developed specific dances and movements that Gigolo Joe would use in his everyday life, including simply walking down the street. They were primarily inspired by the dances of Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. According to Law, Steven definitely wanted that dance movement as part of Joe's seductive appeal, so I needed a certain amount of training because I hadn't done much professional dancing in the past, beyond taking a few classes. Everything Gigolo Joe did was for one purpose, to be a prototypical sex object. And if you were casting someone for this purpose in 2001, chances are someone who looked like Jude Law would be an ideal candidate. While at first glance he seems to just be a handsome man, the more you look at him, the more you realize something is off. His prettiness is almost unsettling. His hairline is a little too precise, his skin a little too shiny, and his jawline a little too cutting.
Have you been crying, Samantha? I found a tear.
This was all by design. In describing the creation of the character's look, Law said, "At first they were going to give me prosthetic features for my entire face, but that idea was dropped as being too synthetic looking. What they settled on eventually, in order to retain some human element, was a prosthetic jaw, and also a kind of softened plastic facial makeup that would allow for facial expressiveness." Most handsome movie stars would not go through all of this trouble to build a character like this. Plenty of them are confident enough in their own appearance and charisma that seeing the character name Gigolo Joe almost seems self-explanatory. Jude Law is not built like that at all though. This is a character actor performance by someone who is thought to be a traditional leading man. When Law is asked to play someone meant to be handsome, he will push it to the extreme, like in The Talented Mr. Ripley or The Young Pope.
I do not have an image, my good lady, because I am no one.
He isn't just going to be an everyday handsome guy, because there's no fun in that. He wants to put in the effort, the research, and the preparation to properly convey what is on the page and in the mind of Steven Spielberg, because he is given the space to do just that. He can create a truly memorable character. Jude Law has never let his character actor side go, and now that he is approaching 50 and his hairline has receded somewhat, people can seemingly appreciate that part of him better now. When you plug him into a meaty supporting part nowadays, you're guaranteed something you were not expecting, and often brilliant, such as in Anna Karenina, Vox Lux, and Contagion. An actor's abilities are not tied to their appearance. It's the preconceived notions about actors with certain physical features that holds everyone back.